A really common question I get in the clinic and just generally online is, should I be doing a kegel when I do certain movements or exercises? And that question is difficult to answer because every female pelvis is a little different. And so to answer that kind of big blanket statement of yes or no is really difficult. But generally speaking, I'm going to say the answer is no. And here is why. Generally, when we are cued to tighten our abdominals or to kegel, we tend to really overdo it. And more is not better, more is just more. And in fact, sometimes that can be a contributing factor to symptoms. We go back to this model about the balloon, and the balloon is your core, and the pressure system of that balloon. And really, all of the muscles that make up that balloon have to be in balance. And so, if we have certain muscles that are working too hard or other muscles that aren't working enough, that is not balanced, and that is a problem. The other thing I would say about being cued to always use a kegel is that there is no time ever in our life where the pelvic floor contracts in isolation. There is really no need to train it that way because the core is a reflexive core. It means that it should kick on and be useful for us when we need it without always having to think kegel, kegel, kegel. So here's a lot of what I talk about with my clients and in the social media world is let's tap into breath as a way to reestablish what naturally happens in the system without having to clamp down abdominals and pull our pelvic floors to our chin. Using breath as a way to subtly tap into what's already there and trusting what's there as a way to protect you, protect your organs, your hip, your spine, your pelvis as you're moving. So and you can check out some of the other videos I have on this, but one of the really important things is that as we're breathing correctly with our core, our diaphragm and pelvic floor, we inhale, our pelvic floor yields to that pressure. We get a load of that pelvic floor tissue. Automatically on exhale, we're getting a recoil. That's a contraction. That is a kegel. It's a little more passive and it's a little more of how the system naturally works. But we can add a piece to that. And so here's what we play with a lot here in clinic is if you find your two front stick out bones here on the front of your pelvis, I want you to practice inhale, open the pelvic floor, exhale, candle breath, inhale, open what just contracted, exhale, candle breath, inhale, open. So that when we do exhales in that way, very specifically with that mouth position and that sound, is we are getting a natural activation of that system. And so to do more than what's necessary, I think is really not that important and not that useful. So I think that the answer to the question about should I kegel when I'm exercising is with my clients, typically, if we can tap into the system, the answer is usually no. Hope you find that helpful. Let me know if you have any questions. Thanks.